As far as the solar power, it's like an either or situation. Either people have a really big setup and they're grid tied, so they're selling their power back to the power company, and they have all of the everything's to code, and they're using the power company's equipment, you know, and they've made a contract with their power company, and they're using solar that way. Or they're using solar and they're in a remote area and they don't have access to, they're not in a suburban area, they're very remote area away from any power company utilities, and they're doing it all off the grid. And what I'm trying to do is I'm compromising between that. I would like to have the system so at night a battery charger comes on, and during the day I could have the system be a combination of a grid tied and off grid, meaning that the grid would be this. That would be my grid, and I would tie the grid tied inverters, I would plug them into this, so that the high voltage panels, I wouldn't need one of these, which is more expensive. I wouldn't need a battery charger, because I would just boost the power through the circuit here. That's already being, the power I'm generating off of my battery bank, I would like to boost that with an AC inverter that's coming off the solar rack way in the remote corner of my yard over there, where the sun stays up after 6. You know, the sun is from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. there's sun over there, but not over here. Same thing with over there, and there's another spot in the front where it's in the morning, early in the morning I get sun here on the side. I could do that on the other side of the shop here, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to optimize the use of the sunny area in my yard, in my space, to generate more electricity. But I'm kind of, you know, I'm really behind. It's very inefficient what I'm doing. It's been very expensive. I wouldn't recommend anyone doing it the way I've done it. I would, if you're going to start out and you have some money, then use the higher voltage panels and get an MPPT controller. And you know, and what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to do, and do it better. And so what you could do is you could just have maybe one big battery and have it on a day-night, have a day-night switch. What I'm trying to do there, have it on a photocell switch, so that at night, at night, the photocell, that will come on and turn the battery charger on. So it's a combination of this photocell. At night it comes on and it turns that on, which keeps the batteries charged. And that way the battery life will be saved, so you won't wear your batteries down fast. And the other thing is not to have so many batteries. What if you just had like 2 batteries and then used a grid tied, used on all your panels that are mounted, whether on the roof, but preferably ground rack system. Try to avoid putting them on your roof. If you have lots of space around your house and you can have a ground mount, build a ground mount system. Believe me, it will be much easiar for you when it's snow, and when something goes wrong on one of the panels or they need cleaning. It'll be a lot easier for you to work with a ground mount system. Plus, it's safer. You don't have a load, and there's also a situation where your house could catch fire, and the fire department may be spraying water on the roof, or having to go break through the roof, and the panels are there as a hazard. So you have high voltage electricity, and then you have a stream of water coming from a fire hose, and if the fire is burning through your electrical lines, and then the water hits that from the solar, it could be a hazard. So there's hazards about roof mounted systems, as opposed to ground mounted systems, you know. So the other thing, even though ground mount is a little less security, somebody could more easily steal your panels if they're ground mounted. But if you have them well, you know, bolted down, cemented down, wired in good and secure, and you're in a secure area, you have a fence around your property, then there's no problem if someone's there. or if you have a security system. You could even wire a car alarm into your solar panels, so if somebody ever tries to move your panels, and then the alarm will go off. So I thought about it like that. But the other thing to consider is you could have like maybe 1 or 2 batteries, and then have all your panels with N-phase inverters. So every single solar panel would have an AC inverter that would create a circuit, and the only thing the battery would do was to keep the system keep a voltage, a constant voltage there, so that your AC, your DC to AC inverters off the panels would detect there being 60 hertz and 110 volts, and that way they would continuously pump power into into the circuit. And that's what I'm trying to do. Is like I'd like to get away from a battery-based system and have all grid-tied panels, but have it not on my utility, have it completely isolated from my utility, and at the same time live in a suburban area. And I'm wondering if that's possible. I would like to work my way towards that. And if you have any suggestions out there, or you've known anyone to do this, or you have experience with a grid-tied inverter, can I use a grid-tied inverter with that without damaging either that or the grid-tied inverter? That's my main question out there. And because I don't want to go through the bureaucracy and all the requirements to get a grid-tied to my utility. So anyhow, and also these are expensive. Batteries are expensive. And if I could just have 1 or 2 batteries always on, and then use the grid-tied inverters for boosting the AC circuit power to carry loads, then that would be great too. But it would just be during the sunny times. So sunny times, run that air conditioner. Sunny times, run that electric heater. Sunny times, run the water heater. Sunny times, run the pumps for pumping water into my tank or filtering the water, whatever. Then running, you know, a dishwasher or a laundry, something I could save up the work and wait till there's available sunlight and then do the work. So that would be optimal. Or run an air conditioner system. Good for when it's sunny, you run the air conditioner. So anyhow, signing off. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. I would appreciate anyone's opinion out there, or your expert advice if you're expert. Thank you for stopping by.